High Guardian Spice! High Guardian Spice! Because that's essentially what the hell we got here. So when it comes down to things, people do not like Velma. I understand. I don't like Velma. She looked like a thought. This show is not necessarily good. Why do they keep doing this to these old ass cartoon shows? Like, there is no reason for this. You're basically just trying to take an IP and then use it and then ruin that IP just because you don't like that IP. Or maybe there's drugs involved. I don't necessarily know. Considering that y'all don't like drugs in this show for whatever reason. Granted, understandably, don't do drugs. It honestly, like, if you compare this show with High Guardian Spice, both of them suck, both of them bad, but rating wise, High Guardian Spice is 1 point higher than freaking Velma, which says a lot, honestly. So, yeah, I didn't think it was gonna go lower than High Guardian Spice, if you remember that train wreck. And there's like a few things I need to mention and with their similarities too, as we go on through this video. The number one major thing though is that the character design is better in High Guardian Spice than it is in Velma. Like, let's be perfectly honest, don't nobody look good in this damn show. Like, in certain scenes they do look good, maybe in like the horrifying spooky scenes, but other than that, it's not necessarily like the best thing in the world. So, you know, that's 1 point to High Guardian, I suppose. Granted, don't really care about that show either, but, you know, at least they tried. And number two, I will give credits to High Guardian at least, because at least they had an original show of original members of cast people that we've never seen before. And so when they tried this with Velma with an established legacy of characters in animation, it gets weird and it's stupid and it doesn't make any kind of sense. Shit happens because shit just kind of happens, if we're being perfectly honest. And that's the one major thing. You have all these different types of shows that come out. You use an old IP to bring something new, and I don't hate that idea. I feel like you can do it right if you are actually about that life and you are actually, like, you know, respecting what was the past work of the older shows. That's perfectly fine if you want to take it in a different route. But when you use it just for a cheap pop and for a cheap, you know, creation of whatever that you wanted to do, it doesn't make any kind of sense of why you would go that route. Like, let's just have like a new cast of characters or a new cast of characters in that universe of Scooby-Doo and then just work with it like that. Because every time I've seen someone that uses an old IP to try to make something new out of it, it doesn't work. And also when it comes to Velma, at least I would give points. The voice acting is pretty okay. It's not necessarily the best by a long shot, but it's pretty okay, you know? Like, it's way better than Snail Boy from High Guardian, who was just mumbling everything that man said, like, oh, you know, I just like to smoke weed and songs and I just, you know, cool, man. Like, speak up, bitch! Like, speak up! Are you trying to be a mumble rapper? Why aren't you selling mixtapes? You should be out on the street handing your mixtapes to random people that needs to hear it, even though ain't nobody trying to hear it, but they'll take it anyway because they pity you. Again, there's a lot of things I need to mention. Number one, the mysteries are feeling like they're like the secondary part of the story, which is very true. Like, now if you know Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo obviously is all about the mystery and how you play it, all about control and how do you shape it. I don't necessarily know the lyrics, but still, it's supposed to be about the mystery. Who is behind the mask? How you're supposed to deal with the situation? And even in Mystery Incorporated, like, they were just doing things in an ongoing stuff, but it was still like mysteries out leading up to something. Still, you know, it felt like it was still original Scooby-Doo, but a more mature version of it. Everything was either like, you know, not important, or just everybody wanted to focus on the character development themselves and the characterization, which is not necessarily good in the show, and it doesn't make sense. Another bad thing about this show too is that they make too many insults to the damn audience. Yes, we are watching a cartoon show. Yes, why are you insulting us because we're watching your damn show? In fact, this is what I don't necessarily understand. If you make a cartoon show and you insult the people that watch his cartoons, why are you making a cartoon? Why don't you just make a live action? Even though that's worse, but still, why don't you just make a live action show and then deal with it like that, instead of just insulting people that watches the media that you're producing? And people have the nerve to be like, oh, if you don't like the show, stop hate watching it. No, we're gonna watch it and we're gonna review it and we're gonna critique it, mainly because we don't need trash media like this to be going forward into Western culture even more than it already has. And they also gotta bring up stereotypes for like 5 million times. And so many times especially when it comes to Fred, I don't know what they did to Fred. They effed up Fred so hard. They just say, yeah, let's just take the big masculine man Fred that get all the hoes and then turn this into some holeless ass dude. Like, I don't necessarily know what happened to Fred. Honestly, this man is completely holeless. A pirate, he couldn't even be a pirate, honestly, because he couldn't even find some land hoe. He couldn't even get that. Like, that's how holeless he is. And so they make him like this racist, not jock pretty boy, but also weird as crap character. It just doesn't make any kind of sense. Like, it really doesn't. And then they also, have the whole entire cast, honestly, just trash. Velma is too overconfident for her own good. To repeat what Tainori said, it's not that the fact that she's looking down on people, but it's that she's so overconfident in her abilities, to the point it's near insanity. And then you have Daphne, which you're just there, honestly, and you're just a rich girl that's just being very annoying and doesn't really add anything to any part of the story, if I'm being honest. And then Shaggy, what the hell? What the hell happened to Shaggy? I don't necessarily know. Man's just there just to be there. Man's like he's about to say, I serve zero purpose, because that's how he literally is. And then, the one joke with Shaggy that was absolute dog shit. Man was like, I hate drugs. And just looks at the character. Do you want a reward? Do you want me to hit you with a chair? Like, what do you need so I can give you that? Because get off my screen. That's not how it works. This is not how it works. I don't even know why in the hell they say, yeah, let's just make Shaggy some random black guy instead of just his regular average self. People like the regular Shaggy. This is why this man is so damn popular. Man is just stoner as hell, has ultra instinct, and uses 1% of his power. People like that Shaggy. This is the Shaggy that we will not remember in 10 plus years. Hopefully by next year, because this is just dog crap, honestly. And then Velma, we talked about Velma again, but again, the overconfidence is just insane. And Fred obviously is the holeless man, so that's how it kind of all is. With his white richness and his man complex and masculinity and his tiny penis. Why is there tiny penis jokes in this? Why? It's not funny, it doesn't make any type of sense why you keep going at it, honestly. It's just boring, lowbrow ass humor. And lowbrow humor can be funny if you do it right, but you just don't. Also, when it comes to the spooky moments, now I only watch Spilling the Milk's version of, their reaction to the story in the episodes, so I have not watched it myself, and I'd be damned if I do watch it by myself. But my thing is, when it comes to, the spooky moments, like the mystery hands and the crazy graphics of the crazy things that happen, is this just playing in Velma's mind, mainly because her mom left her or something? Or is this stuff really happening and there's someone that's really controlling her? That's what I want to know. Is the really creepy mystery stuff from the old Scooby-Doo that's affecting her, is that real, or is that just something in her head? Because if it's something in her head, she needs a therapist or be locked in an insane asylum. But what's this spooky ass crap that come out of nowhere for no reason, honestly? At least that's what it looked like to me. So yeah, that's just how I feel. And then the show itself is also really super self-aware, to the point it doesn't really make sense, because there's no real reason for it. It's just oh, we know it's a show. This whole thing is just straight up a show and everything about it, so we just want you to know that we're in the joke with you. That doesn't make sense. And even if you were to use that as a serious plot point into this show and how they done it, it probably wouldn't be done well, and it probably doesn't make any kind of sense. Let me tell you a character that at least does the whole self-aware thing kind of well, or at least does it in a way that is interesting. Meet Ajimu. Ajimu is the most broken ass character in anime history. She is so broken that she refers to the world that she lives into as a manga and or an anime. While she does know that this world that she lives in is an anime, but she also believes it, considering her life and how everything was for her, how unbeatable she is. She has the most BS abilities of all time, and the chick literally can just go to any world that she chooses to and knows logic and stuff about it, in the randomness of anime universes. That's how she is, but they use it in a way where it plays as a theme into her character, and it's actually really interesting and cool. There is none of that in Velma, honestly, and it's What in the absolute insane? Am I sniffing a turkey's ass? Like, what is happening here? And so when it comes down to things, it just makes things just weird. And it just, why are you so self-aware? It doesn't make any kind of sense. Then you also had the whole thing with Velma Tarkin. Why is Velma Tarkin? I don't really know. They just said, let's just make Velma Tarkin just because that's what the kids like to see. This is the biggest disgrace in the entire show, in my personal opinion. Velma is a thick bitch. She is thick as hell. Not this trash ass version, the white version of Velma. I can't believe I have to specify by race. The white version of Velma is super ass thick. She is part of the international thick ass Gentai women of history. If you type up a name in Google and you see an inappropriate picture without you looking up anything else outside the name, they are a part of that culture of just straight up horny art. That's what they are. You cannot give us a version of this Velma, make her twerk with no ass, none at all, and then just say, this is what we got here. This is the proper Velma. Absolutely not. I do not receive this. This is bullshit, and everybody should not stand for this. We want thick, white ass Velma, not this bullshit ass person we got here. I'm not saying that, oh, Velma has to be white to be thick. No, I'm just saying the original Velma was white, and that's what she was. And she was hella thick, and people remember that. So was the original Daphne, her white Beverly Hills ass. Honestly, I'm just making a point. We don't want to see this weird ass twerking shit. And it's not because, oh, the character is underage. We don't give a damn about a character being underage, considering that we watch anime over here. That shit is just full of weird things. But still, it pushes the medium forward. So it is what it is, and we don't necessarily care. Also, the good thing about, you know, having things like that, and also, especially in the anime sort of sense, is that it pushes the boundaries of what fiction can do. That's what I like about anime, honestly. It does that. It pushes what can be shown and what can be done. And shows like this, they try to push it, but they don't necessarily hit it where it should be hidden. Like, it just doesn't. And it's sad. And it just makes me sad just thinking that this is a part of fiction. Like, why is it a part of fiction? I don't know. It doesn't make sense. And then the whole thing with Velma and Daphne's love thing. I don't care what you like. I don't necessarily care if you like some or a certain thing and how you like it. That's not necessarily my concern. Now, I don't really care for that. But I will be very honest, and I'm going to be very brutally honest. When a show throw in a gay plotline or something about two characters being gay, it doesn't work, especially when it comes, at least when it comes to like the Western side of things. A lot of times they throw it in, it doesn't work. And it's like, why did you make me watch this and waste my damn time, honestly? What is the point? I don't necessarily care for any of this that's going on, and it's just coming out of left field and it's random as hell. So that's kind of where I feel when it comes to that, at least. And again, anytime they just struck this in, they just try to get, they like, see, throw Velma and Daphne kissing. Yeah, that we got gay representation. That's cool, guys. So our show is not trash. Just because you throw in a gay couple does not save your show. I don't care how hard the LGBT community try to fight for it. This show is absolute ass. Dog cheek ass, 100%. And the fact that people also want to include like the diversity and everything else and all that type of progressive ass woke stuff. It's like, you do it. You can do it, but you do it in the wrong way. And that's literally with every single Western animation that has come out in the last couple of years. So that's basically all I wanted to say for this one, honestly. I'm just going back to my anime, and that's basically what I'm going to stick with a lot of the time. That's why we focus more of that on this channel. And yeah, it just, I feel sad for anybody that actually like Western animation. A lot of it just garbage now. But that's basically what I want to say for this one, so hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification on your way out. Also follow me on Twitter and like the channel, Patreon is available as well. And until then, it's your boy Jay, sign off. Have a blessed day.